I'm going to do a rather long video about eyes. I've suffered with various things. I'm 84 and I've suffered particularly since I'm 25 with different issues. And the medical negligence is unbelievable because today I found out that there was all kinds of treatment and I never got it in Canada. And I lived in Toronto, and I was in hospital 23 years and in and out with that specialist. And no. So I'm going to tell you a little story about my eyes. I face going blind because of the medical negligence. In case someone else has a similar problem, being neglected as badly as I have been all my life, particularly at the age of 25. I couldn't see. I was working in an office and light blinded me and migraine headaches were horrific. And so I took to wearing sunglasses. While no doctor, and I saw plenty, ever thought to give me any kind of a warning about UV protection, sun protection, and snow blindness. As in particular, I love the snow and the cold. Some of you may know about my disease. You'll check my website. All that research is there. And I reversed crippling brain damage and memory loss. And it's a long story, but it's all there. And everybody knew that I love the snow because it, for whatever reason, the cold brought down the pain and the inflammation. And so I played with children. I even took them sliding on my lunch hour when I was working until 1975. My boss's wife at the time, she said, I should be a skier. Well, because I crippled and took crippling attacks, skiing, I couldn't skate, so it never occurred to me that I could possibly ski. So the rest is history. She took me skiing. And because of the poles, I was able to ski, both downhill and cross-country. I prefer cross-country. I like the wilderness. And I lived for skiing until this year. I was forced to quit. I'm not going to get into that. But I have a genetic mutation, and it's caused severe nerve damage. And I've lost all balance. I can't safely ski, and I can't dance, and I'm the only thing that keeps me going is fashion and color. So if I go blind, the last thing on earth that gave me any kind of pleasure, despite crippling, paralyzing pain, it would get me out of bed. I would dress up, take a couple of pretty pictures, and it made me feel good. Even for 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. I'd get out in a little park or on a swing. But I'm about to be robbed of my last pleasure on earth. And I could have been saved. Anyway, I never wore proper glasses skiing. No doctor suggested I should have UV protection at all times. Now, I just found that out thanks to Google. Yeah, God bless Google. Everyone should have UV protection and anti-glare outside in summer and winter at all times, or you will get eye damage. It's called posterior vitreosis detachment, PVD, or retina tearing, which is even worse. That causes blindness. Now, I've had anti-glare glasses for decades, but what a ripoff. They're as useless as tits on a bull. No doctor ever told me that, either including several eye doctors since the age of 25, never told me a thing. And when I worked in real estate back in 1981, suddenly I had to drive at night. Which normally, unless I was going dancing and then somebody would pick me up, I never did. I was blinded by the headlights, and a guy that worked in the mines, he said to wear yellow tinted glasses. which I found in a dollar store, and it worked to this day. And again, no doctor ever told me that either. Now, my light sensitivity was never managed very well. And what causes light sensitivity? Well, it has something to do with an optic nerve. Now, how did I find that out? One day, back in 1987, I'm researching my Trahan-Lavalley ancestry, and my uncle Roger Lavalley, who died in Italy in World War II, I got a call from a sergeant in the military and a general, and they invited me to give a talk and to watch this war documentary that was put on by somebody in the United States about Canadian military. Nobody in Canada cared. Anyway, I'm getting distracted here, but it's so upsetting. Anyhow, in that documentary, the British military fed bilberry. Yeah, not blueberry. Bilberry. B like Bob. I, L for Lillian. B like Bob. E, R, R, Y. Bilberry. And it increased the strength of this optic nerve, and they had amazing night vision. Well, I went on one bilberry a day in 1987, and it worked perfect. I'd take it in the morning, and for the rest of the day, lights didn't cause a migraine. Except one night, 1999, in an emergency for my parents, I had to drive from Wasaga to Sudbury at 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I hit Parry Sound, now it's about halfway, the headlights started to bother my eyes, and I was in pain. So I pulled over on the highway around Parry Sound to a coffee shop, and I took a bilberry. And I had a little coffee. Not too much, because I didn't want to pee. Yeah. And in 30 minutes, it worked. And I could see, and I drove the rest of the way to Sudbury just fine. Now, eventually, about 2 years ago, I had to start wearing sunglasses. That is the wrong one. Yeah, sunglasses. To do my research on my computer. This lighting doesn't bother me. But if I'm working on research, the lighting on my computer started to bother me. And I had to go back to when I was 25 and wear sunglasses to work on my computer. And I increased the bilberry, and I'm now up to 4 at 6 o'clock in the morning and 4 at 6 o'clock at night. Or the light is blinding me. And again, it takes about 30 minutes, and it somehow goes into, it seems to digest really quickly into your bloodstream, and it works very fast, certainly within an hour. Now, I skied right up until last year with insufficient UV protection since 1975. And I've seen plenty of doctors, although I haven't had one since 2017, but I'm going to get there in a minute. Not once did any eye doctor ever talk to me about UV protection. So I skied without proper protection. And I even paid $300 to a glass shop in Walmart. 2 pairs. Anti-glare, and they didn't even suggest UV protection. And about 2 years ago, I went to Dan's glass place, and I didn't even realize it, but they automatically gave me glasses with UV protection and anti-glare. But I didn't wear them because they're really quite dark for shopping. I didn't know I had to wear them all in the daytime and skiing. So the bottom line is I had a total lack of knowledge and medical negligence. And I had no clue until today, thanks to Google. And I'm going to talk about next is why I'm going to go blind. Now this started, retina tearing is caused by UV damage. And in 2017, I suddenly had these northern lights flashing like a rainbow for 25 minutes. And I couldn't see anything. And it scared the heck out of me. So I Googled information, and I found a doctor by the name of Young. And he said there was nothing I could do. It's called retina tearing. And if it lasts for 1 hour, go to the hospital because you're going to go blind. Well, those episodes happen every few months, lasting about 15 minutes. So I didn't think there was any problem. Never dawned on me. This negligence, unbelievable. Anyway, suddenly a few months ago, I got a 25-minute Northern Lights rainbow one. It was really, really bad, both eyes. And I started having nightmares. I'm going to go blind. So slowly I cleared out my gowns because I figure I'm going to be in a nursing home. And then the other night, I had a small yellow flash. Flash, 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 flash. And it lasted about 25 minutes. And I had such a nightmare last night that I remembered meeting a woman in Chelmsford. It was around 2018 at a local dance bar. And she told me the only doctor, she got retina tearing and she went blind. And the only doctor was in Ottawa that could save her vision. And she met a nice guy in this same bar, and he fell in love with her, and he drove her all the way to Ottawa, and the doctor said there was nothing he could do. And he moved her into his home, and he's taking care of her. Well, she sure got lucky, at least at that. So after this yellow sparks, not like the massive rainbow for 30 minutes a few months ago, but I wound up in such nightmares, I got on Google and I started to do some research. Now, it took me hours to get this information, people. So here's the deal. There is a specialist that can save your eyes from going blind with laser treatment called ophthalmologist. O-P, like Peter, H, T for Tom, H, A, L, M for Mary, O, L, O, G for George, I, S like Sam, and T like Trudi. And there is one here in Sudbury, born and raised here. Dr. Sorgini has an eye institute, and he's right next door to my dentist on Regent Street. So I found his email, and I Googled them for a request if they would help me, as I have no doctor of any kind, not since 2017. Or do they suggest I just go to the hospital as I have no doctor? So I'm asking for prayers, people. I truly don't want to spend my life at 84 having suffered a lifetime of horrendous crimes and horrendous diseases and crippling, paralyzing attacks and excruciating pain since I'm 6 years old. I need a break. It's different if you go blind and you've got assistance. But I have suffered enough. I think I'm due for a break. And I thank you for caring if you do. And shame on the medical negligence in Ontario that I have endured. I truly pray that Dr. Sergini takes pity on me and will help me not go blind. And I know this is 16 minutes and it's way too long and we don't have the attention span of a tsetse fly. But I've reversed brain damage, paralyzing attacks, memory loss so bad that I was diagnosed once as a borderline genius, and I couldn't read or write for over 11 years. I lost my career and everything, and I reversed it. And I even got legal recognition for multiple chemical sensitivity and Parkinsonism disease. So please share my website, and please share this information on eyes. Number 1, UV protection at all times, at any age, even for children. I mean, the fact that I'm not blind and I didn't have UV protection in itself is a miracle. And I've been getting these attacks for 9 years. So I'm due for another miracle, please. Because if I can't see my colors, I got nothing left to live for. That's all I have left. I don't want to lose my eyes. Thank you, and God bless everyone suffering. I hope that someday our society and our human species become a better species. Because truthfully, we haven't evolved much in 5,000 years. It's pathetic. Okay, over and out.